I'm not the first one to point out that the quality of the Marvel movies has been declining in the past 2 years. While before we had a sense of cohesion and that everything was going to a certain direction, now, in the surprisingly already finished Phase 4, none of these movies felt that they were going to a certain place. They just exist. This is mostly a result of a variety of factors that happen even before they start to film the movies, and honestly, it's really sad to see something that once inspired you to be greater turn into a circus. So, buckle up, grab your snacks, and if you want, play Fortnite while you hear me in the background, because I'm feeling venomous today. Today, I want to talk about the tragic downfall of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Marvel has been producing content faster than ever, but we should remember that quantity is not better than quality. I think that nothing represents this better than various CGI teams calling out Marvel for their horrible treatment towards them, calling Marvel the worst client that they worked for, and this shows. Iron Man from 2008 looks better than most Marvel movies released today, and that is because the CGI team had enough time to pull out great special effects. Marvel shows these days look no better than the shows from the CW, and that is even worse when you consider that the net worth of the CW is less than 1% of the net worth of the MCU. Just let that sink in for a minute. And this is not against the CGI team, that I'm pretty sure that they do everything to deliver the best product possible. This is against Marvel that prioritize releasing 20 movies and series a year. This creates a saturation problem. Before you had time to watch the Iron Man movie, understand the character and get to know him, and decide if he's your favorite Avenger or if you prefer Hulk or Captain America. Nowadays it's just a stream of content where you have to mindlessly overconsume. Don't ask questions, just keep consuming, producing shows that people will forget the moment they release a new one. If you think that I'm lying, just remember that no one cares about Moon Knight these days. No one is talking about it despite being released after movies like Spider-Man No Way Home and The Batman. And people keep talking about those movies. And before you tell me that that is because Spider-Man and Batman are more popular than Moon Knight, let me remind you that people keep talking about the Daredevil series from Netflix, and he's going to appear in a lot of future MCU projects. Why? Because the Daredevil series was beyond amazing, a masterpiece in writing and filming. That is what a well-written show can achieve. And you can be sure as hell that Daredevil wasn't nearly as popular as Batman or Spider-Man. And also you can be sure as hell that Moon Knight will never achieve what Daredevil did. This overflow of content also creates the problem where now movies have DLC. A bit too much DLC. To fully understand Doctor Strange in the multiverse of I Don't Have Children, you have to watch WandaVision on Disney+. Also you have to watch Spider-Man No Way Home. And also Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. And also, if you want to understand the characters a bit better, you have to watch Avengers Age of Ultron, Civil War, and the first Doctor Strange movie. What a horror. In the future, when you want to watch the next movie, Avengers in the Multiverse of Morbius, you'll need to watch at least 90 movies just to know which characters are which. Bland movies and shows give bland characters, and Marvel characters have become too bland. Just look at just look at Hulk. Before, he was a creature that commanded respect because of how capable and destructible he was. And now he's just a joke. Just to introduce his cousin, Jennifer Walter White. Jennifer Walters, humiliating her own cousin in every way possible just to show how capable she is. Remember in the cartoon from the 90s how they didn't need to nerf Hulk to make She-Hulk an interesting character? The latest MCU movies have this ugly tendency to undermine legacy characters to make their replacement look better, and this just doesn't work. Hawkeye, Loki, all examples of this, and this is not because the replacements are women, it's because the replacements are not interesting. And certainly, making the originals look worse is not a good way to sell the new characters. And if you think that I'm being too harsh, I'm going to prove that writing good characters that come from a minority without undermining legacy characters is possible. Do you remember Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? Do you remember that the protagonist is a black Latino kid? Remember when they made Peter Parker look like a total incapable goofy idiot to make Miles Morales look good? Of course you don't, because it didn't happen. Miles Morales is a great character not because he represents a minority, but because he is an incredibly well-written character. He has weaknesses, he has an overflow of personality, maybe even more than Peter Parker, and in the end he is capable to grow despite his pain and become a better character, and helps the audience to grow with him, and the fact that he represents a minority is just a plus to all the good attributes that he has. And all of this without undermining the legend of Peter Parker. This is because Phil Lord and Christopher Miller are hyper talented people, far more talented than anyone that has worked at Marvel in the past years. Capable of making masterpiece after masterpiece after masterpiece. If you want to write a good successor, you should never disrespect the original character, because what is going to happen when that successor also needs a replacement? Will you disrespect the previous successor as well? Marvel really needs to relearn how to write good female characters. Seriously, this was something that they knew how to do back in the day. Let me give you a few examples. Black Widow was a great character. She used her beauty to seduce men and get what she wanted, while also being able to kick ass if she wanted to do so. And also she was a character with emotions and insecurities, with vulnerable moments that not only made the character more relatable, but also stronger, while also having a lot of feminine traits. Now they didn't use some of her attributes in her own movie, because nowadays it's sexist if a man likes a woman or something. Jane Foster was a character incredibly played by Natalie Portman. In the first Thor movie, what Thor had in muscle, she had it in brains, and she used her own set of abilities to help Thor without undermining him and also having her time to shine in the movie. All of this without losing her feminine traits, and also proving that you don't need to make a character less to make other characters more. Also, Pepper Potts helped Tony in a lot of occasions when he was stuck in his own head. All of this without trying to prove that women are better than men for whatever reason, but that they complement each other being stronger together. That's why Pepper Potts using an armor doesn't feel forced. These days it's almost as if they are trying to teach people to hate each other and trying to abolish the family structure through this media that people overconsumes. But nah, obviously Hollywood has my best interest at hand. Guys, there is a white truck outside my house. Wait, they have FBI jackets. FBI, open up! Guys, help! Help! Ah! Nowadays, most female characters that Marvel write feel like Superman without the kryptonite, which means that they are even more boring than Superman. Captain Marvel is not boring because she is played by Brie Larson, nor because she's allegedly the strongest Avenger, but because she doesn't have any weight as a character. We never see her grow or struggle. She doesn't have any characteristic or personality to connect with. She is just a hollow character. I could keep on doing this, but this is something that has been done to eternity. So, I'll just say, what happened to female characters? The only movie from this phase that doesn't suffer from this is Spider-Man No Way Home. And I assure you that that movie was done mostly by Sony. It's like when you forget about sending a message and you just make a good movie, everything works out. I know that if I talk about this, I'm on thin ice. But you gotta die somehow. The new Black Panther movie seems empty. Yeah, the trailer is sad, but I feel that there is nothing there. It's like going to a museum and the building looks really beautiful outside, but inside is empty. And that is because Chadwick Boseman is not there. Sorry, but he was irreplaceable as Black Panther. This again feels like a desperate attempt from Disney to try to get money in a really despicable way. I think that the most respectable thing to do was to not make this movie at all. And if you think that any of what I said so far makes me racist, first, I'm Latino, so being racist is kind of an overkill for me. And also, let me show you who the real racist is. Did you know that the first Black Panther film was released on China? This is the international poster. We can see King T'Challa in all of his glory. Do you want to know which poster Disney used in China? Yeah, they censored the actor's face, because he's black. and this is not the only time that something like this happened. For the movie Star Wars The Force Awakens, Disney removed the actor John Boyega from the Chinese poster. What's next? In the next Black Panther movie, they are only going to put Martin Freeman in the poster for the Chinese release? I don't know, but Disney seems pretty hypocritical to me. And that is what bothers me the most, the hypocrisy. Whether you agree with the ideals that Disney sells here or not, it doesn't matter. Disney probably hates you even though you've done nothing wrong. They went as far as not letting a father put Spider-Man on his dead son's grave because it might hurt their public image. So tell me, who is truly evil here? So, how all of this ties to the downfall of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Recently, it was reported that most of its movies have been underperforming. Shang-Chi and Black Widow had merchandise on sale a week after the movie was released. That is funny if you think about it. Spider-Man No Way Home was released more than half a year ago, and if you see stuff from that movie on stores, they are on full price. Eternals was a movie. Doctor Strange and Thor underperformed according to Marvel. Top Gun Maverick did better at the box office than Doctor Strange. This is more impressive when you consider that Top Gun Maverick didn't have to do any tricks like Disney, where Disney bought more screens for Doctor Strange just so more people will watch the movie. It's almost as if the secret to making money when you make movies is to make a good movie. Wow, who would have thought that? Recently, Warner decided to cancel the Batgirl movie. It seems that Warner can't afford to keep releasing new movies that they know will piss off people that wanted a good film. On the other hand, Marvel, and more specifically Disney, are hell-bent on releasing their mediocre products and saying that if you don't like it, you are sexist, racist, and every other "ist" in the dictionary. This happened with the Disney Plus show, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Even the main Star Wars account said something in the lines that if you disliked Reva, it was because of racism, instead of just accepting that she is not an interesting character. Something more recent is that the director of She-Hulk said that people disliked the CGI of the show because they want to tear apart the CGI woman. Look, if people dislike the CGI of She-Hulk, it's not because people dislike women's bodies. If people dislike the CGI of She-Hulk, it's because it looks more fake than the acting in a Lifetime documentary. This is what Marvel has become now. Just deflecting valid criticism, saying that if you don't like it, you are a bad person. I also see very often the argument that a good fan enjoys everything, without any question, and that is the same as hating everything. A good movie or show should dare to defy your expectations and your emotions, and not give you exactly what you expected. And Marvel movies used to do that to a certain degree. They used to play with your emotions and give you something different than what you expected. This is heartbreaking because once there was an idea. Get together a group of heroes with unique abilities that not only inspired me, but the entire world. Marvel movies never were perfect, but they were good and definitely meant something, inviting us to aim higher, to never stop bettering ourselves to be able to protect those that we love, inviting us to never flinch in our ideals, no matter how dire the situation is, that there will always be people willing to stand up for what's right. Nowadays, the mere idea of bettering yourself is offensive. Then what is the point? Fictional characters are supposed to invite us to reach for unattainable ideals. Because what are ideals if not a bit out of reach? Trying to aim higher is harder than go spiraling down, but also more rewarding. Being better is supposed to take effort. We were inspired by this once. Now tell me, who is going to be inspired by this?